And today we have a very special guest with us, and this is Nehru Nagappan. How are you, Nehru? Good morning. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody watching us. How
Yeah,
are you, Nehru, today?
fantastic indeed, fantastic. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you for being here with us. Now, I'm sure that most of the people watching this video already know Nehru, but just in case it's the first time to see him face to face, Nehru is basically one of the global project management experts, and he is focusing on green project management and PMO project management office consultations. And I'd love to welcome you today, Nehru. You have been a practitioner for Think and Grow Rich since when?
Since I was 18 years old, in fact, I am still holding that same book that I bought when I was 18 years old. I'm now 53 years old. So this is the book that I bought, Law of Success. It started from here. And then the subsequent book is actually the Think and Grow Rich, which has the similar principles as well.
Wow. Can you tell us, Nehru, about the theory, about the GEM theory? There is a very interesting theory that you've been announcing. What's the GEM theory? Can you give us some support and help with this?
Sure. According to this law of success, there are some principles that you got to follow in order for you to be successful. And according to Napoleon Hill, by definition of success is you are able to get whatever you want. Whatever. The word whatever here refers to health, wealth, happiness, your vacation, whatsoever, right? And as long as you're not violating the rights of others, that's what success, according to this book, says. One of the principle, there's total about 17 principles in total. One of the principle is what we call GEM. And GEM actually stands for going the extra mile in whatever you're doing. So that's the definition of a GEM practice, actually.
What is it? What is going the extra mile about?
All right. If you think about human nature, right? So when it comes to practicing whatever you're doing, this principle actually talks about taking one step ahead of whatever you're doing. For example, certain things that we do in the organization, a lot of things that we are doing in the organization, usually we say, okay, we are doing this because we are getting salary. Going extra mile actually talks about the habit. Actually, it's a habit of doing something without expecting anything from whoever you are. For example, maybe you're expecting something from your boss. Salary is one example. Promotion is one thing. But going extra mile is actually a habit that's internalized, institutionalized in you, that says, do it whatever it takes. I'm doing it because I think it's the right thing to do. For example, you might be walking in a park and so you saw some rubbish, or maybe you're walking in the beach and you saw a lot of rubbishes being thrown by everybody. But instead of complaining about it, just smile, be happy. You are a part of this universe. Just pick it up, throw it, and just move on with life. And that going the extra mile, universe is actually watching every single steps that you are doing. There are two laws governed by this going the extra mile habit. One of them is actually law of increasing return. The other one is law of compensation. Law of compensation refers to whatever activities that you are doing without expecting anything, you will be compensated by the nature.
Wow.
By the same reward technique. The other law, universal law, is called law of increasing return. And what the law of increasing return says is, if I do something without expecting anything and I do it wholeheartedly, you will get back tenfold by the universe. All right. So these two are the laws of universe governed by the GEM practice.
Nehru, how can you actually set up your mind on this, doing something without having expectations? It's not easy. How can you do this?
That's the part of mind tuning that is required. It's not easy, I would say. It requires a little bit of practice, in which I'm going to show it in one of my workshops. And it's a workshop. It's not a training whatsoever. I'm actually going to show you step-by-step practices on what are the things that you need to do. I'll tell you there is a formula as well. And if you follow that formula, you can actually have this GEM habit. Actually, I have to emphasize this word. It has to be a habit. It's not something that you just just say it out loud or whatever, but you got to do it wholeheartedly.
Are you actually telling me that you're going to be working on changing the practices people do every day in a physical form, in a tangible form, So they start practicing taking advantage of this law, or like making benefit out of this law of getting tenfold which you give out there to the universe.
Precisely. Actually, when I read this book when I was 18 years old, I tried out, and I realized that it's actually happening to me as well. I'll give you one example, simple example, right? How the universe rewards you without you knowing. When I was about 17, actually this practice, I've been doing it since I was in 8 years old.
Oh
And
my
my
goodness.
my mom actually told me, Nehru, let's go to temple. I'm being a Hindu. So let's go to temple. And when I was in temple, you know what she asked me to do? Go and sweep the floor, the entire temple. That's a huge temple. 8-year-old kid, and I was crying. I said, Mom, I am not here for this. All right. But she asked me to sweep the entire temple every Saturday. The next Saturday, I will be crying, no, mommy, I'm not coming to temple. But she dragged me to the temple. I'll start sweeping. And then the following week, I started sweeping, and it became a repetition for me.
Wow.
And this is what we call habitizing, right? So I'm conditioned to sweep. And here's the thing, whenever I sweep the temple, the temple actually will give me, some peanuts or whatever, just for me to enjoy, wow, I get some rewards while doing this. Right. And I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. And guess what happened when I was about 20 years old plus?
What?
When I came back to this temple, um, just out of the blue, the temple president said, Nehru, would you like to be the secretary of this temple?
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
And when I said, okay, why not? And there was no expectation. I said, I'm willing to do it out of, just volunteering, and I'm not getting paid for this anyway. And guess what? By accepting the secretary's role in the temple, then the global, the national level Hindu body, actually they noticed and they welcomed me into the national level body. Now, can you
Oh
see the
my
law
goodness.
of, law of increasing return works here?
Crazy.
All I did was sweeping, but now I'm actually looking after the Hindu for the entire country now. So
Oh
this
my
is an
goodness.
example of law of increasing return.
It's like opening doors and doors opening more
It
doors.
opens door. And likewise, I'm talking from a spiritual angle. Corporate level, for example, and when you do
Yeah.
certain things, without expecting, oh, I'm not getting promoted, I'm not getting salary or whatever, you're not going to go anywhere. But if you start showing your passion, you started doing certain things will get attracted to you. Your boss might notice whatever you're practicing, or maybe people from the industry recognize whatever you're doing. So that will get attracted to you. And this, you don't need to make effort because universe is watching you.
Wow, Nero. People coming from project management background, like how can they tune this into their lives and enjoy this? Like people in project
Oh,
management, they're so
yeah.
practical, they're so hands-on, they work with plans, they work with deadlines, and they will have expectations. Like, how do you tweak their mindset?
And again, this is again from my experience about going extra mile in project management. You know what I did? I didn't have the attitude of, no, it's just, I'm just going to be here in the office for 9 to 5. That's it. I'm too tired. I'm too stressed. I'm going back home. Yeah, that's called career, right?
Mhm.
But instead, what I did was I volunteered in Project Management Institute as somebody just volunteering. And from there, I grew to be a director in the Project Management Institute. And that comes as part of this law of compensation as well. And as volunteering, when I do volunteering, I get a lot more exposure to the people in the country and the industry. People knows I'm from the industry, right? Through this kind of volunteering. And I'm not getting paid for this, but because people recognize, wow, Nehru is actually from PMI, and therefore I get a lot more benefits from there, a lot more trainings from there because people recognize me as an authority.
Wow, when your original intention was just to help and
Just
service
to
and
help out. Yeah.
volunteer.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you, Noah. That's the beauty. And I'm out of the 17 principle. I'm just talking one of the success stories, which is
Well,
going the
tell us
extra
about
mile.
the 17 principles. Can you share some information with us today about
Sure,
17
sure.
principles?
If I can share some slide to you, Noah, and for the benefit of everyone as well, let me
Thank
tell
you.
you the short snapshot of that 17 principles. And here you go. And this is actually from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, as well as the law of success book. It starts with this. It starts with having a definite major purpose. Definite major purpose means, actually, it's the first principle. That's the reason why it's the first principle. Whatever you do, whether you want to be a millionaire, whether you want to have success in whatever you're doing, your health, or your wealth, or your happiness, or whatsoever, um, our mind is diluted by so many priorities at home and at office, and you got a lot of news from your social media. When you scroll, there'll be abundance of unwanted what do you call news being bombarded to your brain. There's about 50,000-60,000 thoughts per day in your mind. Definite of purpose says, if you want to achieve your success, get rid of all these noises, focus on your wealth generation, or focus on your happiness, or focus on your health. Whatsoever is your goal, focus on that, and use emotion and use your passion to hit your definite major purpose. And when you have removed all the filters, then all the other success principles will start flowing into you, because you're already thinking about that and making it as your number one priority in your life to hit that goal. And the other second principle is called mastermind alliance. It says success cannot be achieved but just by you alone. You got to have like-minded people. If you're talking about wealth, you got to have people who are like-minded, thinking about the wealth generation and so on. So you got to think about who your friends are, who is your closest friends. If they are talking about poverty, if they are talking about negativity and so on, you might not be able to get the wealth that you want. So you got to have that like-minded people. That's mastermind alliance. Faith here is not about religion or spiritual. Faith here talks about 100% trust in the universal law, because universal law is actually a science and it works as it is. So when you magnify your purpose, you'll start attracting your wealth or your health or whatever. And seriously, when I do this, actually help to heal myself, right, from all the sickness or whatsoever. And that one
Wow.
I'll speak to you about it in a later part of the program, because yeah, I was in a hospital. I this considered my second life, because there was a healing process, right, that I tapped
Wow.
through the universal energy. So according to Napoleon Hill, these three is the main ones. And then you have all the other principles that supporting you. I just mentioned about the going the extra mile, having a pleasing personality. That's also is a habit, right? The way you approach others, the way you serve others. You got to have a pleasing personality. And then being proactive in whatever you do. Taking action is important. So that's a personal initiative. And whatever you're doing, instead of showing negative mental attitude, you got to show positivity. You got to radiate positivity. Even though you might be going through a lot of negative things in your life, you got to make sure that you're positive, right? So it creates an aura in you as a positive person. And then whatever you do, you got to do it through enthusiasm. You got to be excited in what you are doing, right? So sometimes you got to fake your own emotion. Yeah, you might be down, but don't let that scenario actually affect you. But you got to create that enthusiasm in you. Self-discipline is another one of the area. Habits, right? Creating habits in you. Control attention talks about focus. Teamwork talks about having your team working together towards the definite major purpose. And here's another thing. A lot of people talks about fear of failure. And here, failure here refers to not failing. Failing is all about, it's a lessons learned, right? So whatever you go through, ups and down, when it comes to down, right, when you're going down in life, you got to celebrate, because every time there is a failure, there's a guaranteed by universe that you'll be successful. So
Yeah.
whenever you're going down, you got to be excited about it, right?
Yeah.
And the next one is called vision, which is imagination. Keeps talking about where you are heading, getting excited about it. And sound health is important. What's the point of having a goal but you're not looking after your health, right? So no point just earning money or chasing after money, but you neglect your health. So that
Yeah.
is an important part of success as well. And that other one very crucial is, how do you budget your time? Yeah, your time management. And then the other one is, how do you budget your money? In order for you to be wealthy, you got to have a habit of saving. So it talks about habit of saving. And the last one is the one that I've been talking all this while, which is the universal law. There are quite a number of them, and I've explained two of the universal law earlier to you through the going the extra mile habit.
So
So these are
curious
the
about the
17
other
principles.
universal laws, because like this is crazy. I mean, understanding how can
You
we be going through life? How can we, anybody of us, can actually be going through life without understanding the universal laws? Right?
precisely, yeah. And I don't blame everyone because as it's actually physics, and those who have studied physics, they will know how the law of universe actually works. But for the commoner, they might not have that knowledge. So we got to simplify the knowledge on how the universe, we can actually tap the universal energy to us. And we are part
But
of the universe anyway. We're just a small little particles, but the universe has, billions of, particles, atoms, and so on. And how do we attract them?
not
Uh,
commoners there. I mean, there are people with PhDs, people top
oh yeah,
level,
yeah, yeah,
PMO, PMP people, project management people, and they
yeah.
have no idea about
No
universal
idea.
law.
Yeah, yeah,
And they need to know this because part of maintaining their, internal strength and mental
yeah.
strength is a big deal, right? Especially when they're dealing with projects.
Absolutely, absolutely. So even if it's project management, they got to think about their goals, where they want to head from here. That's your DMP, definite major purpose. All of these 17 principle applies for everyone. It could be somebody who is just
Absolutely.
starting their career, somebody who is an expert in project management. Yeah, anyone can actually apply these 17 principles.
Wow. All right. How
And
can people sign up for your course? How can people sign up for your workshop?
there is one workshop that I'm doing on going the extra mile, which is end of August. Doa,
Well,
maybe you can share the date as well on that.
great.
That'll be a workshop. It won't be a training. There won't be a theory. It's I would say no nonsense approach on how to
Wow.
actually apply the principle in your life on a daily basis and being conscious about what you're doing on a daily basis.
I love this. I'll make sure I'm on this workshop, Nero. I'm definitely bought on no
Thank you,
nonsense.
Doa. Yeah.
All right, everybody, we'll be sharing the link to Nero's workshop. Like any information about the price for this workshop or like any idea about how people can know more about this workshop, Nero?
Um, Before going into the workshop, let me also tell you there's going to be one more exciting thing I wanted to share. These 17 principles, plus another 4 more additional topics where I'm going to expand the knowledge of universal law, right? So it's going to be 21 principles in total, or basically it's
Woo!
going to be 21 sessions. Yeah, I'm going to offer. And this 21, it says online learning, and the price
Self-paced,
is actually 1,1550, right? 1,550 is a price.
1550.
That's right. But this Thursday, I'm going to have another one more session. It's an awareness session on how to set up, your goals, right? Definite major purpose. The first principle, we are going to have it this Thursday as well. This Thursday, and again, it's going to be not a theory. I'm going to guide you in detail. I want you to visualize what exactly is your goal in life, how to eliminate all the unwanted, thoughts that are disturbing and distracting you. Just focusing on one goal. And my pattern is I get whatever I visualize, I materialize it. It gets done. So I want to tell you about some of the principles behind the universal law and how it attracts once you have this main purpose in your life. And yeah, sometimes you might get emotional in that session, so get ready for that session as well.
Ah, so like, can people come and attend this session by invitation or just to get a taster before who are ready to sign up for your workshop? Can they just come and ask you some questions and get an idea about like what they're
Feel
about to
free,
see and
definitely.
explore and, experience this entire amazing workshop?
Surely. Actually, there will be a lot of questions, right? For those who are not familiar with this topic, there'll be a lot of questions being answered. I want you to ask that question because I want to clear all your doubts, right? When it comes to the vision and mission in your life, what's the purpose of you being here? Just floating and living and dying? Or is that your objective?
Wow.
Or do you want to achieve something in your life, right? So
And
that's what I'm going to
experience
cover this
happiness
Thursday.
and
Yeah.
joyfulness in every step of the way, even if you're working in project management, if you're working as a consultant, if you're working as a coach, whatever you're
Right.
working, you want to really get the best out of this life and have meaning and enjoy this
Precisely.
meaning in every bit and piece of your life. So I'll be sharing the link with everyone to attend your to invite them to attend the session that's going to be, about Q&A, and to explain to them more about the workshop. And I'll
Yep.
also be sharing with everybody the link for people who are ready to sign up right now. So go ahead and people who sign up by Thursday, I'm going to be pushing Nehru to give them a special offer. I know he usually wouldn't give a special offer for a similar course, because this course is so valuable, but I have a few days to convince him. So be sure to, hop on our Thursday session and enjoy the introduction on the walk an extra mile, go an extra mile workshop information, and see you at the workshop. It's an amazing thing. Thank you so much, Nehru, for this amazing information for today.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Bye. See you, everybody.